We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, would interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is October 9th, 2024. Sorry it's been a while that I haven't done a Leave the World Behind episode. We are almost done with the series. We are on chapter 34. This is pretty much, I already know what I have planned for this episode. We're going to read a chapter, deep dive into the symbolism of what a deer means, because deer have been popping up as a major symbol in this book, and then probably read another chapter or two and call it a day. We've been doing basically a read along with commentary, so I hope the series has done well, so I'm enjoying it. So yeah, let's get on with the show. Chapter 34. It was Clay's instinct to consult the Washingtons, put four heads together, a conference, strength in numbers, the wisdom of their more advanced age. But none of them had ever seen anything like this. They huddled and inspected like Caravaggio's Thomas and Friends. Incredulity was about right. You're feeling all right, though? Ruth didn't see how that was possible. Archie just shrugged. He'd said it over and over again already. Well, this is something. We need to think about getting him to the doctor. G.H. felt this clear. Not back in Brooklyn. Here. We have that pediatrician's number. Ruth had done her research for when Maya and Clara and the boys came to visit. They'd never had to use the information, but they had it. He needs the emergency room, G.H. said. Clay nodded, grave. Been there, done that. Like any parent worth his salt, a glob of peanut butter lurking in a berry smoothie. An overconfident leap from the jungle gym. Labored breath one terrible winter night. You're right, this shouldn't wait. How he wished it could. Where's the hospital? Amanda was unsure what to do with her body. She walked in circles. She stood and sat like a dog that can't get comfortable. Is it far? Maybe 15 minutes. G.H. looked to his wife for confirmation. Farther, I think. You know, these roads. It's probably closer to 20, maybe longer. I think it depends on if you take Abbott or cut over to the highway. Ruth didn't want to care. She didn't want what it would entail. She couldn't help herself. She was human. Do you want some water or something? Archie shook his head. I don't need to go to the hospital. I feel okay. I really do. We just need to be certain, honey. Amanda actually wrung her hands like an amateur character actor. You'll give us directions? Unless someone's phone has suddenly started working? No? I can give you directions, G.H. said. You'll draw us a map. The GPS is no good. You'll make us a map and we'll go. Amanda went to the desk. Of course, Ruth kept a cup of sharpened pencils, a pad of blank paper. I can draw you a map, but it's very simple once you get back to the main road. I got lost. Clay put a hand on his son's shoulder. He could barely look at them. I got lost before. What do you mean? Amanda asked. Lost? It's not simple at all. I went out to go and find out what was happening, to get to the bottom of whatever. And I drove down the lane and I passed that egg stand and I thought I knew where I was going, and I was wrong. I drove around, then I turned around, and I was really lost. I don't know how I found my way back. I heard that noise and I thought I was going to lose my mind, and there it was. The turn I had been looking for. The road up to the lane, up to the house. It was just right there. So you didn't see anyone? Or anything? You didn't go anywhere? Amanda sounded accusatory, but this was a relief. He hadn't even had the chance to look. They were all overreacting. There was nothing. An industrial accident, those noises, 4 consecutive controlled explosions, the power loss easily explained. Not great, but not the worst. I could show you the way. We'll go too, all of us. No. Ruth was firm. Her body shook. We're not leaving. We're not doing that. We're waiting here until we hear something, until we know something. She would let them stay, but she wasn't risking her life for them. There's nothing to worry about. We'll drive them. We'll talk to someone. We'll find out what people know. Maybe we'll fill up the car, come right back here. You can stay, all of you. You can stay here in this house with us. Sorry. You can stay, all of you. You can stay here in this house with us. This was as far as Ruth could go. Just stay here. Stay here. Clay thought about it. He'd been thinking about it. Until what? But George, you can't leave. You can't leave me here. And I can't leave. And that's where we are, Ruth said. What if it's forever? Amanda could not wait. Her son was sick. What if the cell phones never come back? I mean, they barely worked out here before, when everything was normal. What if the power goes out? What if Archie is truly sick? What if we're all sick? What if that noise made us sick? I'm not sick, Mom. Why wasn't anyone listening to him? He felt fine. Yes, it was weird. His teeth had fallen out. But what was the doctor going to do? Glue them back in? Something. His own instinct, some other very quiet voice, told him to stay where they were. Ruth wondered what Maya was doing. She wondered why it seemed perfectly viable to her that her grandsons had heard that noise in Amherst, Massachusetts. They had only milk teeth, barely held in place at all. Maybe the noise had knocked those loose and reduced their mothers to hysterics. If you couldn't save your child, what were you doing? She knew they could not choose to stay with her, not when their child was sick. I don't think I can go out there. It will be fine. GH couldn't promise that. They'd all been waiting for some decisive moment, some corner being turned. Perhaps this was it, the gradual descent into illogic, the frog finding that the water is, at last, too much to bear. The hottest year in recorded history. Hadn't he read that once? But the boy was sick, or something was wrong with him, and that was the only information they had. You can wait here. I can't stay here alone. We'll pack up. We'll go to the hospital. And then we'll go back to Brooklyn, Clay thought aloud. You don't need to drive us there. A map should be fine. GH began to draw. Or we could come back. We could leave Rose here with Ruth, and we can come back for her. Amanda didn't want the girl to have to see what was happening to her brother. She thought this might be less worrisome. I can stay with Rose. I can even pack your things. You can go right now. Ruth liked a project. Fine, Clay stood. That made more sense. Let the adults do what was needed. They'd come back for Rose. It was Amanda who realized, or Amanda who said it. The five of them had been so preoccupied by the situation. A shame. The perfect day. The light playing prettily across the pool, its reflection dancing across the back of the house. The green, more lush from the rain, and not a cloud to be seen. Where is Rose? So let's dive into the spiritual meaning of deer. What to do if they keep appearing to you. Like I said, deer is a big symbol in this series that we've been doing. Amber alert. Do y'all hear that? Hang on just a second. Wow, that was crazy. I hope you all heard that so you don't know I'm not crazy. Like I said though, deer is a big symbol in this series. So yeah, I figured we'd look into the symbolism of deer. Found all over the world and in many shapes and sizes, deer have been a part of various spiritual traditions for generations and are still regarded as a meaningful symbol today. Whether you feel a specific connection to deer, which is, by the way, my wife's spirit animal, or you've just been seeing them a lot lately, here's what it may mean for you. What is the spiritual meaning of a deer? For much of history, humans have hunted deer for food and sport. And as such, cultures have long associated deer with everything from abundance to good luck, to the hunt itself. But beyond hunting, we also see deer in different spiritual and religious traditions, symbolic of themes like love and divinity. As spiritual teacher Allison Charles tells MBG, deer's healing wisdom ultimately relates to the path to the open heart, gentle strength, unconditional love, and compassion. This animal's peaceful serenity is a perfect example of what deer represents, and altogether encourages a certain embracing of the divine. The deer is a sensitive, highly intuitive spirit guide. It strikes a balance between confidence and success, and gentleness and grace. Spiritual author Emma Milden previously wrote for MBG. In different traditions, deer have historical roots from east to west, with Charles noting that the deer is among the earliest and most important symbols in Buddhism. It was in Deer Park at Sarnath that Gautama Buddha preached his first sermon and turned the wheel of the law, which revealed doctrines of reincarnation and karma. Deer are often depicted in Buddhist art as attending Buddha, usually kneeling near the base of the white lotus where the great teacher sat, she explains. There's also a rich symbolism throughout the Bible using deer, such as Psalms 42:1, which reads, "As a deer thirsts for the streams of water, so I thirst for you, God." Or Proverbs 6:5, "Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hunter's hand, and like a bird from the hand of the fowler." In Cherokee spirituality, according to research published in the Journal of Archaeological Science reports, white-tailed deer were not only considered a symbol of good luck, but there were specific rituals around hunting them as well. Deer were considered an other-than-human person, and their antlers were worn as amulets. What it means if you keep seeing a deer, which the characters in this book and podcast series have been seeing deer. According to Charles, if deer are showing up in your life or dreams, which we'll get into shortly, it's an invitation to learn something from their wisdom. For example, you may have an opportunity to embody a deer's qualities in order to heal or open your heart. or when you want to inspire through kindness rather than force, Charles explains. Deer may show up when you want to give and receive unconditional love, or when you want to stop being so hard on yourself or others, she adds. Ultimately, deer represent gentleness and heart intelligence, so deer may present themselves to you if you've been hurt and your heart needs tending. Charles also notes working with deer's energy can help you work toward your goals from a place of positive intentions and a clear heart. What it means if you dream about deer. Many of the same meanings for deer will apply in dreams as well, with Charles explaining that they may specifically show up in dreams because it's an efficient or effective way to get your attention. Perhaps during waking hours, you would be too distracted to notice it presenting, or perhaps deer has already tried revealing to you in some fashion, but you weren't taking note. So it shifted to dream presentation to work with you there, she says. And as therapist and dream expert Leslie Ellis, PhD, previously told MBG, to dream of being chased by a deer, for example, could mean you are fleeing from something that is not truly scary, or maybe you are running from your own fearful nature, from the deer-like flightliness in you. What to do if deer keep appearing to you? If deer are showing up a lot in your life, it may be a call to open your heart and operate with a bit more grace and compassion. Charles recommends journaling using the following prompts, answering each question with a yes or no, then reflecting on each of your answers and journaling more on what's coming up for you. Bullet point 1. Am I willing to do the necessary work to heal or further expand my heart? Number 2. Do I trust myself to set healthy boundaries? Number 3. Do I love and honor myself with tenderness and compassion? Number 4. Have I attended to past rifts that require forgiveness or healing? Number 5. Am I willing to act vulnerable? From there, Charles says, consider how you keep your heart open and tender, and call on deer to assist you in moving through these experiences with more agility and grace. And always thank deer during each connection or experience you have working with it, she adds. The takeaway. If you have ever pondered the spiritual meaning of animals, you wouldn't be the first. And if you've been seeing a lot of deer, their healing may just have a place in your life right now. Listen to your intuition. Take a lesson from the animal and allow their wisdom to guide you. So that is the symbolism of deer and how it would relate to leave the world behind. Chapter 35. She was watching that one movie she'd forgotten she'd downloaded. Amanda looked in the girl's bedroom, but the girl was not there. She was in the bathroom. Amanda went to look, but the girl was not there. Back to the living room. I can't find Rose? They all agreed this made no sense. Clay went back to the master bedroom, which was empty. Amanda looked out the back door at the perfect day then in progress. Amanda looked into the laundry room, then went back to the master bedroom herself, not trusting Clay to be thorough. She looked into the walk-in closet. She looked under the bed, as though Rose were a house cat. She looked in the master bedroom, which still smelled of the violent rejections of their bodies. Clay found his wife in the hallway. I don't understand. Where is she? Amanda returned to the girl's room and peeled back the covers to see the foot of the bed, not sure exactly what she expected to find there. She hesitated before the bedroom closet, like someone in a movie. Did the director intend a feint? Rose curled up with a book, or a shock, a stranger wielding a knife, or a puzzle, nothing at all. There was just the smell of the cedar balls left to dissuade moths with a taste for cashmere. Now then, panic, and at last, a concrete target upon which it could fix. Back to the living room, where Rose was not watching television or sitting with a book. To the kitchen, where Rose was not eating or working the too hard Oriental rug jigsaw puzzle. To the door overlooking the pool, but no. Rose had been forbidden to swim alone. Just sensible. Amanda opened the front door as though she'd find the girl there. Trick or treat! Nope, just the grass, darkened by the fallen rain, and the chatter of birds. The girl was downstairs in the part of the house that most belonged to the Washingtons. She'd gone out to the garage to see what diversions it might hold. She was sitting in the car's back seat, obedient as a certain kind of dog, ready for the trip home. Okay, louder. Rosy! 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 Amanda said it to herself. She went back into the bathroom. Once the girl had loved to hide and surprise them. Amanda pulled back the shower curtain to find only the tub full of an inch of water. She'd told Clay to fill the tub, and this was what he'd come up with? She went back to the living room. I can't find Rose. Clay wanted another glass of water. Well, she has to be here, somewhere. He gestured toward the bedrooms. She's not there. Why wasn't he listening? She's taking a shower? She's not. She was not stupid. She's in the... He didn't know what he meant any longer. She's not. I looked. She's not anywhere. Where is she? Amanda was not yelling, but she was not whispering. Did you look downstairs? Archie's tone was withering. I'll look downstairs, G.H. stood. She's probably just exploring the house. I can't find her. Amanda put it as a question because it seemed so silly. I can't find her. I can't find my child. Like saying you couldn't find your earlobes or your clitoris. Amanda went and stood in the kitchen, unsure what to do next. Ruth followed because she was moved to reassure her. The damnable instinct. She had to help. They were colleagues, not as mothers, but humans. All this, was a problem to be shared. She must be outside. Ruth could picture the girl watching monarchs flex their wings on the milkweed. She's gone to play. I looked out front. Let's go outside. Clay sat beside his son again. Amanda, calm down. Let's think. She could be in the garage or out past the hedge. Let's go and find her. The fuck do you think I'm doing, Clay? I'm going to get my shoes to go find her. Amanda rushed toward the bedroom. Archie, do you know where your sister went? Clay was patient. Archie spoke softly. Did he? He had an instinct, but it didn't make sense. No. Amanda came back in her slip-on Keds. She didn't even have tears in her anymore. I feel insane. Where is Rose? I'm sure she's just outside. Ruth wasn't all that sure of anything. Amanda should have screamed, but there was no scream. The fact that she was so quiet was somehow more unsettling. Get your shoes on and help me fucking look for her. Through the door, Clay could see his rubber thongs by the hot tub. I'll go out front, by the herb garden. I'll look past the hedge. She's just wandered somewhere, Ruth tried to convince. There's no television, so she's playing the way she used to. Just wandering about. There's nothing to worry about here. She meant there was no traffic, there were no kidnappers, there were no bears or mountain lions, there were no rapists or perverts, no people at all. They were equipped to handle certain fears. This was something else. It was hard to remind yourself to be rational in a world where that seemed not to matter as much. But maybe it never had. Downstairs, GH found his closet, packed with supplies, his bed tidily made, his bathroom, the mute and useless television, the broken back door, his cell phone plugged into its optimistic white cables. He put the phone into his pocket. In the living room, Archie stuffed his feet into his Vans and used his tongue to contemplate the tender, empty pockets in his gums. They were soft and pleasant, like the recesses of the human body his own was designed to fit into. Something he'd never known firsthand. Could he forgive the universe that denial of his own particular purpose? He wouldn't get the chance. He opened the back door and went to join his father. Went to find his sister. There's nothing to worry about? Amanda's imagination, exhausted, had given up. She'd went outside with the rest of her family into that beautiful day, too distracted to notice if it was different from the thousands of other days of her life thus far. Her "Rose, Rose" was loud and impassioned enough to startle animals she couldn't see and would never know were there. Amanda had theories. A mother always did. An errant step into an unused well, 100 feet deep, disguised by the fulsome St. Augustine grass. A bow sundered by that noise. Falling from overhead. A snake bite. A twisted ankle. A bee sting. Maybe she simply got turned around. They couldn't call 911. Who would save them? GH took the downstairs door, closed it gingerly. The grass was damp and thick. I'm going up front. Clay did just that. Ruth was afraid. Once you had a kid, you knew to be afraid. We should look in the garage. Ruth led the way. Amanda followed her. Archie walked past the yard to the little shed. He knew his sister wasn't in there, but he had to look. The door stood open, and Archie leaned against the structure, looked back at the house. Stupid little kid. He knew she'd gone back into the woods. Why wasn't he able to say this out loud? And how did he know it? It didn't matter. Archie shivered the way you might when you walk into a spider web. The way you might if you saw a spider dart from beneath your pillow and lose itself in your mosaic printed bed sheets. The way you might if a spider crept from your shoulder up your neck and nestled into the comforting cave of your ear. The way you might if a spider dropped from the ceiling and landed on your hair, and then picked its way forward carefully down the slope of your nose, so you could barely see it with your wide-set eyes. The way you would if a spider started and bit with its poison dripped into your bloodstream, and then became part of you, inextricable as your DNA, the thing that made you. His left knee felt funny, then gave out beneath him, and Archie doubled over, and he started to vomit, but it wasn't vomit, just water, a bit of blood. Guess what? It was pink like ... Well, we'll wrap it up there. We got chapter 36. The last chapter in this book is chapter 40, it looks like. So we're almost there. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Maybe like one or two more episodes and we'll be done with this series. Please like, share, and subscribe, and check out the other episodes in the Leave the World Behind series that I've done. We've covered a lot. We've covered a lot of side rabbit holes too. So please like, share, and subscribe. Go check out that playlist, and you all have a good day. Hey.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, would interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.